I'm sorry, I didn't record it from the beginning. We are looking into the finance function interaction with human resource. So, human resource is about the human resource management, about the um, creation, development, and maintenance of an effective workforce. This is the cycle wherein the first step starts with recruitment. Recruitment means attracting a pool of suitable candidates. How are they attract, or how are they shortlisted? Rather, if we put in first, agree that there is a vacancy. Analyze the job. What work would be extracted from that. Decide the job description, person specifications, what qualifications or skill set should the person have. Then the source candidates are shortlisted. From among that, the selection would be taken up, wherein the candidate is expected to fill in the application form. Interviews, selection, testing would be taken up suitable to that position. Assessment centers and then references are expected that the candidates provide. Then the training and development process, we see that training is systematic, planned and systematic modification of behavior. So whatever they have learned earlier also, that has to be unlearned and then learn fresh, everything related to suitable for that particular position role. So first thing is, after they get selected, they have to be trained. Then um, from time to time they have to also enhance their skill set or the qualifications. So development should happen on a continuous basis. So the process of training and development talks about identify training and development needs, set the training objectives, plan the training, deliver the training, and evaluate the training. Evaluate the training starts with what's the reaction. So on that note, I started. What is the reaction? See, training is provided to all the students, but what is the reaction? Not interested is the reaction for your from your class. See, the reaction would be sometimes they take it positively. They attend all the training sessions and then development training sessions which are provided to them. They attend that and then enhance the skill set. Or be very indifferent, don't attend that. The sessions are carried on, but they do not attend, and then that is another reaction. Okay, what do they learn and how do they? I mean, what is their behavior towards the learning and development? Is there any improvement in the person after post training? Is there any improvement that has to be assessed? That's how training and development process is carried on. How to measure the performance measurement. Now, until now, what we have seen is what is the procedure which is carried on in case of HR. So they start with the recruitment. Recruitment is over. Selection is done. Training and development is provided to the candidates. Then their performance has to be measured. Performance has to be measured is the required training, required development sessions. All those things are provided to the candidate. Then how are they performing? Post training and development sessions is what has to be looked into. The first one says that smart targets set at the beginning of the period. Why are we calling them as smart? Smart is it's not the literal meaning of smart, but that's an acronym. It says that the target should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Timeliness should be there. So certain targets should be set. So what targets during the training and development session? What would they learn? So specifically, and that whatever they're going to learn, it should be measurable. It should be achievable, relevant, and during relevant for that time period also. Timeliness. So smart targets are set at the beginning of the period. As they are implementing the targets, continuous monitoring would take place. Monitor performance during the period. Monitoring helps them to compare how are they implementing versus what is the plan. So when they are monitoring on a constant basis, it gives them a chance to compare. So review performance in appraisal at the end of the period. So review performance. So they will review how did they perform, what happened, What was the target set and how did they implement that? That is review performance in appraisal at the end of the period. 4 says action plan agreed with new targets for the next period. After they review the performance, they go ahead with the action plan for the next period. So that's how performance is measured. So performance measurement, decide what has to be done. When they are implementing that, monitor, look into that, and then compare these, review performance appraisal at the end of the period. Then after everything is done, then they start again with the next set of targets for the next period. Lockett's 6 barriers to effective appraisal are, here it talks about the barriers to effective appraisal are confrontation, judgment, chat, bureaucracy, annual event, unfinished business. So these are the 6 barriers to effective appraisal. Appraisal is evaluating the performance, comparing their actual performance with the target performance which is decided at the beginning of the period. So constantly when they are monitored, so at that time there is an effort put into compare their actual performance with the targets which are decided for them. So during this process, there are 6 barriers, is what Lockett mentions, that Lockett's 6 barriers to effective appraisal are, um, the employee should not be confronted. If they are confronted, they would not give the their there would be an impact on their performance. So they should not be confronted. There should be no judgment. Try to understand them, but should not be judged. They should not be judged. Okay, judgment should not be there. There should be no conversation entertained with them. That can that can result in they becoming partial towards a set of employees or one or few employees. So chat should not be entertained. Too many levels wherein the approval has to be given. If it has to pass through too many levels, that's bureaucracy. Things should be simplified, simple structure, simple organization system wherein things can be carried on smoothly. So if there is bureaucracy, if there is delay in the decision making, that also acts as a effective appraisal. Annual event and unfinished business. Um, Certain the events which are conducted annually, that also I mean, because the appraisal would take place at that time, so that also does not contribute to the effective performance appraisal. Taking up the effective performance appraisal, that doesn't contribute towards that. So therefore, that is also a hindrance. Then finally, we see that if there is any unfinished business or any unfinished work, so how to evaluate that? That is also not possible. So unfinished business is also um, a barrier to effective appraisal. Then incentives and practices relating to motivation, the psychological contract, employee involvement, workforce flexibility. One second. One second. I'm just continuing. See, before we continue, I already told you that today and tomorrow it will be done. So we will have a test on Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, if it is done, take time till one Wednesday, Thursday, 2 days you take time, and then be prepared for a test to be written on Friday. Friday you will write a test. So all inform this to all the students that they have to write a test in whatever we have learned. So um, may not be everything in terms of MCQs, maybe certain essay questions also. The concepts will be tested. So, in a short answer pattern, there will be a test you can write. Some problem coming up. So we are discussing about performance management. Performance management. Um, the smart targets set at the beginning of the period, then continuous monitoring, then compare their performance with the targets, and then review performance in the appraisal at the end of the period. Then there is action plan agreed with the new targets for the next period. Then we've discussed about the 6 barriers to effective appraisal. Then incentives and practices relating to motivation are, here we see there are three different things, that is the psychological contract, employee involvement, workforce flexibility. Psychological contract. See, if there is a contract,